Hello everyone and welcome back to IPL Trivia Fever with your host Priyadarshan. I'm here to do the pre-match review for today's second match, that is the Mumbai Indians taking on the Rajasthan Royals. So now it's going to be an interesting match. There is going to be a grab for points as well. But before we get to that, it's time for some questions. So here are the two questions of the members of the Mumbai Indians squad. So question number one. He currently holds the record for most sixes scored in the Big Bash League. As of February 2019, he had 123 sixes to his name in the BBL. Which cricketer are we talking about? So now I can drop a hint for you that this cricketer hasn't played a single match in the IPL yet. Well, with such an impeccable record, we can only guess why this cricketer hasn't got the opportunity to free his arms in the IPL as well. But since I'm saying it's the Australian Big Bash League, I think some of you would have guessed the answer. We are talking about the explosive opener, that is Chris Lynn. So he was a part of the KKR squad first, then KKR let him go, and that's when Mumbai got him. But he hasn't played because the way Mumbai is going, well, I feel they never had the need for someone to come and hit in the opening slot the way Quinton de Kock and Rohit Sharma have been going. But we never know, we might see him in today's match or in the future matches. So that was the answer for the first question. Moving on to our second question. Along with whom Kumar Sangakkara owns a restaurant in Colombo by the name Ministry of Crab. So who is the co-owner of the restaurant? So I'll give you one more hint. This player is not a part of the playing squad, but rather he is a part of the support staff. So I think now you can guess it since I've said Kumar Sangakkara. So it is the head coach of the Mumbai Indians, that is Mahela Jayawardene. So that was the questions for the Mumbai Indians team. Moving on to the Rajasthan Royals. So here comes question number one. His father represented Assam and also the railways team in the domestic circuit. His mother, Mithu Baro, was once a national record holder in the 50-meter freestyle. She represented India at the Asian Championships and SAF Games. Which cricketer are we talking about? So can you imagine a cricketer who's coming from a family of sportsmen? So he's got to be a good player and he is an all-rounder as well. He is the young Indian talent and the answer we are looking for is Riyan Parag. So Riyan Parag, we all saw his little Bihu dance that he did when he got Rajasthan home in that match. So we all know he is a power-packed cricketer. So that was the answer for that question. Moving on to our last question for today. On 12th February 2014, this player picked up the first hat-trick in Irani Cup history against the rest of India, which helped Karnataka win the Irani Cup. Which cricketer are we talking about? So he's actually not a fast bowler but a spinner, and the player that we are talking about is Shreyas Gopal. So he has been spearheading the spin attack for Rajasthan Royals from the beginning and he has done a good job also. So those were the answers for our 4 questions for you. I hope you enjoyed them. Coming to the points table, well, Rajasthan have lost a couple of games even though they are a very, very good side. But now there is still... This IPL has been so interesting because still now you cannot really figure out which are the teams that have qualified or which are going to qualify for the playoffs. By now, generally by this stage of the tournament in most of the IPLs, at least 1 or 2 teams would get qualified or would have enough number of points to qualify. But this time the table is still open. Every team has a chance and every team would want to make the most of it. So as important a match as it is for the Rajasthan Royals to try and get into the top 4, it is an equally important match for the Mumbai Indians as well because they would want to take those 2 points and they are at the top of the table and just secure their own spot for the playoffs as well. So it's going to be a really tough one. Well, players to watch out for from the Rajasthan end are Jofra Archer. Obviously, we cannot talk about the Rajasthan Royals without talking about Jofra Archer. When we talk about the most valuable players of the tournament, Jofra Archer is right on top of the list, and second is Kagiso Rabada. So even though Jofra Archer hasn't picked up as many wickets, but still having him in your squad is already a positive. Again, now as I was just talking some time back, we cannot ignore a player like Riyan Parag. He hasn't been used for his bowling capabilities much, but he can be handy for those 1 or 2 overs with the ball. And now coming back to the opening pair, which I've been saying from my last video, is that I don't think Ben Stokes should be coming and opening the batting. Even though Josh Butler is a brilliant finisher, but what happens is if the initial batting collapses, there is a lot of pressure on Josh Butler. And since he is used to opening the innings for the Rajasthan Royals, this is not the type of pressure he has to generally deal with. So I feel he should open the innings with Robin Uthappa, have a Sanju Samson and 1 down, and then have a Steve Smith at 2 down. That looks a bit more compact, because after that you have someone like a Riyan Parag, you have a Rahul Tewatia, you have a Ben Stokes, and you have a Jofra Archer. So that tail end batting looks a much better picture than what it is right now. I hope they think of this tactical change. And when we are talking about the Mumbai Indians, yes, there is this whole question whether Rohit Sharma will be returning for this match or not. But even in his absence in the previous match, Mumbai dominated the whole game, and Kiran Pollard was really good as the captain as well. There's a fun fact for you: the last 15 games that Pollard has played as a captain have all been won by the Mumbai Indians. So it is a very close battle. It's going to be very interesting, and let's see who comes out on top. And I wish all the best to both the fans of both the teams there. And I think it's time for some IPL action. So I think for today's match, I think I'm going to be backing the Rajasthan Royals, because they deserve a win. They deserve it all the way. So let's see how this match goes. It's going to be an interesting one. So I'll see you tomorrow with the pre-match review of tomorrow's match. So let's get to some cricketing fun.